All right, great. Let's listen to this short video and now we'll be back.
Dangote refinery and other local refineries in Naira and not in dollars. The chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, National Petroleum Company, of the Federal Executive Council as director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to sell crude oil to Dangote refinery and other local refineries in Naira and not in dollars. The chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zach Adedeji, disclosed this after this week's Federal Executive Council meeting chaired by President Bola TINUBU. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akode reports.
President Tinubu's directive on the sale of crude oil in Naira may be the best reform introduced in the oil and gas sector in a long time. Petrol consumers will soon begin to enjoy a stable pump price regime that is no longer dictated by the unstable foreign exchange market.
The pressure on foreign exchange rates today will be reduced. Today, you may be aware that we spend roughly 30 to 40% of our foreign exchange today on importation of PMS that we consume.
Also, as part of the Tinubu administration's efforts to bring relief to Nigerians, Council approved a one-off purchase of a set of...
All right, is this a plus?
Certainly, it will be a plus, but please, because I know the sensitivity of using materials, copyright materials from a TVC. Please, we are doing this for the purposes of education. We do not in any way intend to infringe on your copyright on the borrowed clip. Again, emphasis. So thank you, Ola. Yes, if this will be done with sincerity of purpose, why not? At least all of us have been concerned about the over-dollarization, not just mere dollarization, the over-dollarization of the Nigerian economy. And it does not happen elsewhere like that, businesses or transactions, domestic transactions, will not be done through the designated unit of exchange, the currency in the country, and in this particular case, Naira. Now, from what people are suspected, this may not really be an easy objective, but President Bola Tinubu has spoken, has given directive as the commander-in-chief and the president, and don't forget that he is the substantive petroleum minister, the oil minister in Nigeria.
Is he? I thought I was just Buhari.
No, you know, I do not know this thing about, the attraction about this. The last time that anybody, I think Obasanjo started the game. I don't know if Sani Abacha ever had a substance. I think he did. Sani Abacha did. Babangida had a substantive oil minister. And Buhari, in his first incarnation as a militocrat, military head of state, also had the late professor of virology, Tam David West, as the oil minister. So, but since the advent of this democracy in 1999 in Nigeria, it's been the sitting presidents that have always held the portfolio of petroleum ministers. So this is no exception. But the point I'm making here is that the NNPC has outstanding, Nigeria as a country has outstanding contracts with different interests all over the world, taking loans and using Nigeria as a crude projection as collateral or staking that as promised over time. So we don't even know if today we'll say we produce over 1.2, 1.4 million barrels per day. We don't know if more than 800,000 barrels of that has been pledged concerning some outstanding debt. Do not forget the one that was pledged against $3 billion loan to African Export Bank the other day. That one is still there. So far, Nigeria must have assessed close to 1.5 billion in terms of the loans that we took. We still need more money to come from them to stabilize the system. But the point we're making here is that, so if Dangote goes there now, with this promise, with this commitment coming from President Bola Ahmed TINUBU, and says, oh, it's now been said, you have been directed to give me crude, and this is my Naira. What if those people say, oh, not too fast, brother, because already we have commitment to supply certain people that we took money from in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, what I've always suspected to be behind this, and I was discussing with a senior Nigerian editor today, somebody who reports for the Nation newspaper, my good friend Unduka Chejine in Abuja. See, what we all agreed on happens to be that some people will be in trouble already, especially the cabal that used to benefit from importation of refined petroleum products into Nigeria. These are the people that are doing everything possible to undermine the initiatives, the investments of Mr. Aliko Dangote. So if these people are able to contain their greed and their unpatriotic zeal, especially the man who opened his buccal cavity recklessly the other day to denigrate and rubbish the refined products from a Dangote refinery, the man in charge of a downstream, mainstream, whatever, of the Ahmed of the petroleum industry. If such people can be contained, and I don't know why they are still being kept there, such economic saboteurs, they have no business hanging around Bola Tinubu, and we continue to warn Tinubu, whether it's in terms of prejudice, in terms of issues of politics in the country, and all these spent forces. You don't inherit other people's baggage. Let them go. Release them, let them go. And you can focus on proper nation building. The same way, Tinubu has an hang on like a wiki describing genuine aggrieved Nigerians. Who talks down on, tell me anywhere in the world that people want to protest and then you begin to dehumanize them and call them names. Tinubu should give that kind of executive order he has issued concerning oil concession, crude concession for Dangote. He should issue the same thing in terms of, he should rely on the advice of his medical teams to give executive order for the brain of Wike to be examined. I don't know why Wike is in that cabinet, that he will be calling Nigerian citizens names, calling Nigerian youth armed robbers. So Nigeria has come to this, has degenerated to this level that people will talk recklessly, whether it is Ahmed in a downstream sector of the petroleum industry or Wike. There are people who are who have a psychotic issues that should be dropped from this cabinet. But I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm just talking based on mere suspicion that there is some trouble, some troubles with the workings of the mind of people like Wike and that Ahmed of a man. So, if this will help Nigeria to stabilize in terms of domestic oil consumption and possible reduction in price, because the other day when Dangote rolled out diesel, yes, there was tangible effect in terms of the pricing of the commodity. And that same thing may happen concerning petroleum. What I would suggest in this case is that it's not only enough to have crude allocation for Dangote. Let Dangote also be given the opportunity, because I've traveled extensively in Togo and Benin Republic and some other African countries. They have serious trouble of refined petroleum products distribution and the access or accessibility. Let Dangote be given licenses to build gas stations all over the entire sub-region. And then whatever profit is made from that can be used to subsidize the consumption pattern of Nigerians. After all, you don't have enough orchard or grow orchard of oranges, and then you begin to suck on the sour type. No. Nigerians deserve the best.
Thank you. To your last point there, I have to agree with you. They must, over the long term, focus on building better intrinsic value around Nigeria economy. I think in the short term, I think the Naira thing and the dependency on foreign exchange can help a lot.
Oh yes, when we withdraw a bit back from over-dollarization of the economy, Naira itself would appreciate, and that in itself would devolve on the buoyancy that the economy requires.
Right. But over the long term, Nigeria needs to continue to work on its intrinsic value.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the major issue.
You see, the macroeconomic fundamentals of this are not even far removed from our linguistic consciousness there. When the Yoruba says Asho Alasho ni ọ̀gá ń gbàbọ̀ra owó olówó legun ná. You build gas stations all over West African sub-region. Whatever profit is made from that is enough to subsidize the consumption pattern of
That's a good point.
Yeah. So we don't need to speak too much big grammar at times. Let us be inward looking. Check on our linguistic values, and then you find appropriate responses to all this. Too many of our leaders there, they speak big grammar that are detached.
Big grammar.
Right from the days of Nnamdi Azikiwe and Awolowo, they will speak big grammar. Okawe, nonsense. You must speak the language of the common people.
Right. So I saw a rumor earlier on TikTok. It's probably just a rumor that there was a company. I think it's a company in Malta that was supposed to.
That they said it belongs to Ohando.
Yeah, they said it belongs to TINUBU.
Ohando. Well, I don't know if TINUBU himself has stakes in Ohando, but there is this TINUBU is related to him. I've forgotten his first name now. That runs Ohando. But
the owner of Ohando. Okay.
Okay, is it not laughable that Bayo Nanuga, presidential spokesperson, would stoop to the level of reacting to things ascribed to Ohando? Bayo Nanuga should look for more serious things that will occupy his time. He's a respected older colleague.
Is it the media specialist person of Tinubu's?
Yes, one of the media handlers. But he dabbles into things that he should not even talk about. Ohando is accused of doing something. We don't know if it is true or not. Why should the Nigerian presidency spokesperson or the president's media advisor be the person reacting to that? Why don't they leave Ohando to the business of reacting to issues that are ascribed to it? You know, this is how bad and how overzealous all these presidential media assistants advisor. And this is how you see. like Yorubas will say, Oyinbo muti, otin pa kuku. The white man is the one that is consuming alcohol now, but the cook, the African cook in the kitchen, is the one that is acting drunk. What nonsense?
Oh, Onikuku. Okay, okay,
Cook,
okay.
the cook.
I got it. I
Yeah,
got
that
it.
is what
Yeah.
Yorubas call kuku.
Cuckoo. All right. Thank you so much. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow so you're notified whenever we go live. We'll be right back in about 20 seconds.